Okay, on the bench today, out of a 2017 Cadillac XTS with a 3.6, we have the 6T70 6-speed front-wheel drive transmission. Okay, also this is a Gen 2 because it's a 2017. So what's going on with this is we did a code scan first of all, and we got no engine codes, no transmission codes, and no ABS codes. But when you drive the car, it occasionally will have no reverse and also will run away in third. So that's a common clutch. That's the 3.5 reverse clutch. Now this is a Gen 2. The Generation 1s have the issue with the 3.5 reverse wave steel braking, taking the drum out, so you have no reverse, you have no third, you have no fifth. This is doing something similar to that, but I'm not sure what we're going to find here, because a Gen 2 should already be updated. I was actually talking to my rep because I ordered a banner kit for this already, and I was telling him what's going on. I said, hey, do you sell the 3.5 reverse drums and wave steels and stuff in the Generation 2s? He says, not really. He says the earlier ones all the time, but he said not really on the Generation 2. So let's see what we're going to find when we open this. It's going to be tomorrow morning. So this car also, I mean, this guy does some driving here, so he's a livery guy. It's a 2017, has 190,000 miles on it. I mean, the car is beautiful because this guy drives around, you know, a lot of, I think, executives and attorneys and CEOs and stuff like that. When he came to me and he was talking to me, he says, you know, my clientele is complaining about my transmission, so I got to get it fixed. So must be some, you know, pretty high up people that he carts around. So let's see what else. So I got runs away in third and no reverse at times. All right, when I was checking the car, it actually delayed and banged into reverse, but he left the car overnight when it was cold, didn't have anything. We drove it, ran away. The manager drove it. He said it ran away in third almost every single time. So again, it's a Gen 2. I don't think we're gonna see the typical, oh, I got a tow truck here. All right, so just had a big Sprinter towed in on a flatbed. So we gotta take care of that. All right, so tomorrow morning we're gonna tear down this 6T70 Generation 2 and see what we find. Again, just to recap, slip reverse, ran away in third. So again, common clutch, 3.5 reverse clutch. So we'll see what we're gonna find. The oil's really, really dirty. Oil's like black. All right, so I'm going to catch up with you guys in the morning. We'll open it, see what we find, and go from there. All right, back with you this morning. So I'm going to start by taking the side cover off, and I'll get the Technical valve on. I had to send my DeWalt out for repair, so I picked up snap-on. Not much in here. Okay, this 6T70, these do have dipsticks to check the fluid, where the 6T40 does not. Also Ford, the 6F50 has this, and the 6F35 does not. All right. Now, what we want to do here, we're going to disconnect the sensors. We have the input speed sensor. and the ring switch. Sometimes there's a little bolt down here that sometimes gets in the way. And we're going to move the lock. Let's see. Get this out. Okay. All right. Okay, so now we're going to take the Tecum. You know what? I think I need my 7, which is here. It's going to be a 7. That's going to be a 8. All right, so we're going to take the bolts out, take the Tecum off. This I have on order. These Tecums are getting very hard to get, especially for the 6L80s and 6L90s. Very hard to get. The last 2 or 3 that I did, I had to get the Tecums I had to get out of the deal, and my supplier didn't have any. Switch, 8mm. Okay, we just have 4 left, and we'll be able to take that off. Okay. And here is your Gen 2 Tecum. No pressure switches, they've been eliminated. All right, and the number down here is a part number right here. You can either go by the VIN number, or you can go by the part number here to get the correct one, because when I was talking to my rep ordering the parts, I asked them, you know, how many different ones are there? Because I got to make sure I get the right one. He said there's actually 5 different ones. So we went by the VIN number, and he has it, but it's far away, so I'm like second day airing it in. Otherwise, I won't get it for about 4 days. So we're going to take this little gasket off here. All right, now we're going to get this valve body out. This out of the way. All right, so not all of these bolts are going to come out. Alright, so we're going to take all these outside ones out here. 8mm, these will stay, and these 2. Okay. Here is the valve body. Get that real close. All right, so when we take the back cover off, this will come out. All right, so let's get the output speed sensor out. Okay, speed sensor. Both of these are going to be changed. The output and the input. All right, we also have a seal that goes in the case that we're going to take out. Okay, there's that. Okay, now let me just flip this thing onto the bell housing, and I'll get a different angle, more up close, and we'll start taking the internals out. All right, give me a few minutes to get set up for that. I'll be right back. All right, so we're going to take this back cover off. Alright, we're going to have two pistons in this back cover. The 2.6 is kind of in the middle and the low reverse is more on the outside. Alright, so let's see if we can pop this cover. We do have a dowel pin, which is right here. I'm going to have to probably tap this up. I really got to know where I can. There we go. Okay. Came up fairly easy. So we're going to get the input speed sensor is going to come out with that. There is also a gasket. Okay. Alright, so here is our cover. Here is our 2.6 piston in here and our low reverse piston. And you got to be careful how you install the low reverse piston. It has to go in a certain way. Which we can go over that. All right, we're going to get this gasket out. I have another one. It was in the banner kit. Clean up that dowel. All right, so here is the 3.5 reverse drum / 4.56. A little groovy in here. Let's lift this out. Alright, so everything is intact, so we didn't have the typical problem, and this thing was running away in third. So it's very possible we can have a valve body issue. Maybe we can even air check this. Let this in now. Alright, so here's a clutch hub here. This looks good. And this, of course, is your 2.6 clutch. Alright, just note the orientation. These are pretty easy to figure out because it has one like long tab here, and then the seals have a long tab, so they all pretty much go in the same area. Get these planets out. Bearings. We got a bearing here. There's another bearing there. Okay, sun gear. Planet here. Let's see if we can get this out. Yes. Okay. And we got a couple of bearings here. All right, now we're going to get the low reverse clutch out. Okay, again, just note the orientation of the steels, but again, they all have that one little tab that sticks down. So it's pretty easy to orient those. The other ones, like the 6T40s, sometimes you got to look at it and figure it out, but these are fairly simple. All right, so the pressure plate went down there first. Okay, that was low reverse. Right, so now we're going to have a snap ring. I just want to mark where that snap ring end goes. Let me see if I can get more on top down into the trans so you can see. Now let me just reposition. Give me 1 second. All right, it's pretty much as best as I can get it, but we're going to get this snap ring out here. All right, so I marked where this end went. And now we're going to got the diode here. Let's lift that out. All right, so also just note the orientation of this. Okay. All right. We got clutch up here for the 1, 2, 3, 4 clutch. I'm going to leave this bearing here. Okay. Again with the tabs here. All right, there's only 2 of those. All right, now let's get that snap ring out. The return spring and the piston. All right, so that lifted right out. This will go together. And the piston. Okay, here we go. All right, so now what we got to do, all right, so we're going to take this out here. All right, this goes onto the splines into the drive gear. There's also a bearing. The lip face is down. I'll kind of go over this again. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I got to flip this. We're going to take the bell housing off. Pretty much everything else is stripped here. And we will continue. All right, so just give me a few minutes and I'll be right back. Okay, get these bolts out here. This bell housing. So there's a nice little gun here. It's 120 foot-pounds of torque. And it has your trigger for like reverse. So there's no lever to move with just one trigger. So got to kind of get used to that, but pretty good. And they guarantee the item for 1 year. They guarantee the battery for 2 years. Okay, we got one left in there, inside here. Okay. Let's see how easy these are going to split. It's got a couple of dowels in it. Maybe stuck on this dowel here. Now it's coming. Okay. Just want to be careful not to put too much force on it and possibly crack it. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna have to clean that up. All right. So let's lift this off. Okay. Back. So here's your pump filter, this is your drive gear, and this is what I was showing you before. So this would go here, and this is the hub, the output hub goes there. There's a bearing on this side too, right here. Okay, so that's where that goes. I guess we could take this stuff off, and then we could just take the diff out, and then we'll see if we can air check, see if we can see something. If not, again, maybe a technical problem, maybe a valve body problem, but let's see what we got. All right, so let's get this off here. Okay, all right, just had to make a run quick. All right, so let's get this off here. Okay, we got a magnet there. I'm going to clean that up. Differential oil baffle, as they call it. Let's put this back in. All right, now we're going to take the pump and filter out. Ah, it's really loaded with crap. Maybe it's a filter problem. Gotta make sure we flush this thing out good. Look at that magnet. Bunch of crap on there. Alright, here is the pump. These are generally pretty good. I don't really see too many problems with those. Alright, and here, this drives the oil. This is the chain that drives the oil pump and the sprocket. So now we're going to take the output gear off. And there'll be another sprocket under there, so when the converter goes in, that drives the pump. And this seal here, gotta make sure always gets changed, because if you do not, and the seal is no good, it's going to cause converter codes. Alright, we have a seal here we're going to change too. Okay, that's one more left in there. Okay. Alright, so this will lift right out. There is also a ring, solid Teflon ring in here. That is going to be changed. There is a plastic washer in here, okay, that rides on the sprocket. There's also one on the other side, and it should be one here as well. So we're just going to lift this chain off. Okay, there's that washer, whoop, and there is the other one. Okay, so that, and of course just orient the tab, of course, so this doesn't spin. Alright, so that is the bell housing. So let me get rid of this. Okay, so I'm going to take this oil tube out here. Blue. Same on both sides. Transfer gear. And just make sure your bearings are good. Everything looks good. Differential. I have an oil trough here. It looks like it's about a 10. It's got some crap loaded in there also. Alright, we have a case seal here. Case gasket. I'm going to clean these dowels up. I'm going to probably knock the other one out of the bell housing, put it in here, and I'll just clean everything up. Alright, so what I want to do now, get rid of this oil, and then we'll take the switch out. There's a nail in here. I could probably use a seal puller to pull the nail out. I'm going to take the lever off and pull it down and pull this out so I can put the case in the tank. But let me just get rid of some of this oil and clean up a little bit. This way the case will be stripped. We get rid of that, then we can look at pretty much just the 3.5 reverse clutch and 4.5/6 clutch. Maybe we'll again give it an air check and see if anything's leaking there. So let me just kind of get set up for this, and I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, so I want to take this off here. Now there's a nail that's holding it in, so what I'm going to do is use my seal puller. It should come right out. And then we can probably just pull it down and pull the whole thing out. So let's get this. Okay, here. It's fairly easy. That's that. Now this whole thing should go down. Let's take it out of there. There is your range switch. Okay, and the nail, of course, goes right in here. All right, so let's air check this real quick. Then I'm going to have to pull the drum apart. So we got here the low reverse, this light air, so I don't blow the piston out. All right, then we have the 4, 5, 6. That's the compensator feed there. Okay, then we have the 2, 6. You can see the piston moving. Here's a blow-off valve. You can hear that. All right, now this is the 3, 5 reverse. I got nothing. Nothing. All the rings are intact. So we're going to take this apart, see if we can find maybe an issue with the piston. All right, so let's real quick. Four, 5, 6 is good. There's a bearing here and a bearing here. All right, now let me just pull this drum apart. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to press down, put it in my press. I'm going to press down around the outside, being careful not to go too far down to break this tab, and I'm going to pop the snap ring off, and let's pull this apart. There's a bearing. And pull this apart to see what happened. If we can find something, why this would have no 3, 5, no reverse, real bad, third, ran away. All right, so just give me a few minutes and let me just pop that snap ring. All right, so let's see real quick. All right, so I got the snap ring out. Got the applied plate out. It's these O-rings here. Oh yeah, you know what? The seal. All right, so let's see if we can. Let's get this snap ring out here. And we'll get the frictions out. And that's still intact. That looks good. I was getting no air check at all on this. seeing too much here, but it has to be something between this piston and those O-rings, because I wasn't getting anything. All right, so here is the problem. This piston is no good. Check it out. Makes no seal at all. So there's the problem. Now I have the new piston out of the banner kit to show you. Let me just wipe this thing down here a little bit. This stuff is real dirty. A lot of miles. And here is the new piston. It's got a lip right here, which this lip is non-existent. So when you put this in, you can't turn it, doesn't come out. And this one again. All right, so there's my problem. The 3.5 reverse piston is no good. So that's about it for this. Oh, you know what I wanted to show you also, and I know I've gone over this before. You got to be careful where you put this. This piston has to go in a certain way. All right, let me just take the snap ring out. Okay, we'll take this out. All right, so you see this has this little indent here on each side, and there's also an indent here on this cover. All right, there is a bleed hole in this piston right here, and you got to line up that with this little indent here. Okay, so this is the way the piston goes in. You put the return spring in, the snap ring, and then when you set it on, it'll go right in, and you know this part will work the low reverse clutch. So just wanted to mention that. I know I've mentioned that before in other videos on the 6T70, 6T75. So just throw it out there again. All right, so again, 2017 Cadillac. This is XTS. Yes, Cadillac XTS front-wheel drive 3.6, 6T70. And we were dealing with running away in third, occasionally no reverse, or a bang in reverse. And we found this piston on the 3.5 reverse to be no good. I mean, it's not doing anything. Look at this. And again, this is a common problem with your Generation 1 from the wave steel going bad. That did not happen, but because of the amount of mileage, possibly in the way this guy uses the car, it's a 2017, just gonna turn soon 200,000 miles. The piston is no good. So there is our smoking gun. That is our problem. And now I can continue to clean this transmission up and begin the overhaul process. So that's it. I thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. We'll see you next one.